Welcome back, my corn stalkers. My name is Cody. I am excited that you're here with me today because we have an important topic, a very important topic, because these are the 7 biggest sins that people make when they are trying to buy a home. Now, these 7 sins can prevent you from getting a home outright or just make the experience just a terrible experience and potentially cost you a home. And this happens more often than you think, so we're gonna prevent that by going over it today. But before we do that, I need you to go ahead and smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and hit the bell for notifications because we are trying to grow this channel to the moon, and I need your help to do that, and every bit of support that I get from you helps me a ton, and I would appreciate it. So, without further ado, let's get into it. The number one mistake that people make when buying a home, Googling. Googling has its place, but there is a lot of trash on Google. And I mean a lot. People will Google, what's the best lender for me? What does the market look like today? What's the future look like? Don't ask Google for advice. If you want advice on a topic, ask your realtor or ask a realtor, because when people Google lenders, they give them lenders that are online and not local. And this often will ruin your chances of getting a home. This will make it so hard for you to find a home just because of the lender. Now, especially in markets like this, what we're currently in today, if your lender is not trusted and doesn't have a good reputation and you can't walk into your lender's office when there's a problem, then agents know that. Agents realize that. Agents want to make money. Agents want to sell their clients' homes. Sellers want to sell their home. So when there is a potential issue with the lender, such as an online lender that's not local here, then that is a big no-no on your part. That's a big diminish on your offer and your chances of getting that home, because people literally lose homes because they Google the best lenders. I had someone tell me, but Google said that they were the top rated lender. And I'm like, yeah, but Google isn't here to try to get you a home. They're here to sell you ads. So I've literally won bids and I've gotten calls saying, hey, we chose your offer because we trust your company or your lender more than we trust the other lender, because the other lender was an online lender. So ask your realtor, because your realtor wants to actually close on the home and get you in a home. So they're gonna know the best lenders to get you to do that. Now, you might have certain needs, like tell your realtor your credit score, tell them your income, tell them when's the last time you bought a home, tell them if you've ever been bankrupt. Give them some information so they can point you in the right directions, because not every lender will be good for you, and good fit might be somewhere out there and they may know that person and you would have the best chances with that person. I had a recent client, they Googled what was the biggest stopper from people getting a home in 2022, and they said septics. So they told me, yo, we don't want to look at any homes with a septic. I'm like, okay. And they also didn't want to live close to the city. So, that's like every home. And so their list dropped from like 10, 12 or whatever it was to like 3 or 4. And if they would have asked me, they would ask me for advice, say, hey Cody, what are the biggest obstacles in my way from getting a home? I would have given them a great list, and I would have not said septic, because I have yet to have a home purchase fall through because of a septic. But Google said it's the biggest reason. It's not. And if they would have talked to me, they would have known that, and I could have explained this stuff to them, but they didn't. They Googled it instead. Come and ask your realtor instead of Googling it. Second biggest mistake is limiting your options because of something you read online. And this goes back to number 1. Like I said before, they said that they don't look at septics because they were afraid it was going to ruin the chance of getting a home. But if they would have asked me, I would have told them, hey, I have never had anyone not get a home because of a septic. And it would have been over with. So people will Google certain things that's about the market and not ask me, and they limit their options because of that. And so there might have been a home over here that would have been horrific for them, but they weren't looking at it because they had narrow tunnel vision on the options they were looking for, because they heard that from a friend, they heard it from Google, they heard it from something. So that is an issue for them, because they're going to have a hard time finding a home. Number 3. Getting advice from family members, friends, or that cashier at Walgreens. So your family and friends, they want to help you, they want to protect you, they want to make sure you get the home that you want, and they know everything. So they are going to try to give you the advice that they got from their friends, from someone they know, from Google, from a YouTube video, and that advice could potentially hurt you. I had it was a potential client, but they didn't turn out to be a client. Their parents were telling them, you need an FHA loan because of the appraisers are better and they're gonna protect you and they're gonna blah 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 blah. And they were comparing the appraisers to an actual home inspector, and they're telling her this is a better option for you because Google said so. No, it is not. And they talked to the lender. The lender told them, the lender who does this for a living, who's been doing this for 20 years, said to them, your options will be better with a conventional loan. We have a grant program you could use for this conventional loan, bringing down your down payment and your closing cost. And it's going to be cheaper for you in the short term and in the long term if you do this conventional loan. They didn't listen to the lender, and they listened to their parents who Googled this stuff, who got advice from friends about this FHA loan that was so miraculous to them. Little do they know, FHA is a lot more expensive in the long term and in the short term. And the appraisers are not inspectors. The appraisers don't look at what an inspector is going to look at, and you're not going to know anything about your home from that appraisal. So they're hurting their child because their child is hurting because the parents were giving them bad advice and they weren't listening to me or the lender. Ask me if you get any advice from anybody. If it's about financials, ask your lender. If it's about the market or real estate in general, ask me because we know best, because we do this for a living. Number 4 is purchasing something with credit that's going to max you out or add debt to your debt to income ratio that could prevent you from getting a home. Don't be that person who buys an expensive car before you buy a home, because I have had clients who bought cars that cost them $900 to $1,000 a month. That really diminished their chances of getting anything. There's actually a recent one where he got declined from loans. We did our best to try to get him into something, but he got declined from the loans because he was paying way too much for his car. His car was destroying his debt to income ratio, and he was not able to buy a home because of it. So he has to pay down some debt, pay down his car, and get that payment lower before he can do anything. So he really ruined his chances because he purchased an expensive car before he purchased a home. This is something that young people do all the time, and I see it all the time. They have these huge payments, and it just really hurts their chances. I personally have an expensive car, but I put a huge down payment on it. That way my debt to income ratio was low, because I can finance most of a purchase, but I can't diminish my debt to income ratio with a large purchase that I used credit to do so. Do not buy something expensive that is going to hurt your debt to income ratio, like a car. Number 5 is allowing companies to run your credit and not getting anything with credit when you're trying to purchase a home. When you allow a company to run your credit for, say, furniture or to, say, the utilities, this could put a ding on your credit and ruin the odds of you getting a home. It could ruin your interest rate. It could ruin pretty much anything. I had one guy who he was trying to be nice. He was a sweet guy. He bought his nephew or niece or whatever it was an iPad through credit, and the mortgage company goes and calls him like, hey, what are you doing here? You no longer qualify for this loan. We need to get this out of here. So he had to pay down that to a certain portion to get his credit to go up by 1 point so he could be back in the zone that he needed to be in to buy that home. I've heard stories of people buying cars, pulling up to closing with a new car, and that just completely killing it. They did everything they needed to do. They went through inspections, appraisals, everything. But they bought a car. They bought something through credit that ruined it. Because the mortgage company is going to check again before we close. They're going to check. They're going to make sure you are doing what you're supposed to do. You didn't buy anything outrageous with your credit. So by buying anything with credit before you close on a home, that could ruin your chances. So do not do that. Number 6 is something that most people don't think about, like everything else, but it is super important as well, and it's not having a buyer's meeting before you go and look at homes. Before you look at anything, you need to make sure you have your credit in order. You need to make sure you have your letter with your lender. If you don't have a lender yet, then ask your realtor or ask a realtor who you think you should use. or even potentially have a buyer's meeting before you go look at lenders, because that he or she can help point you in the right direction. A buyer's meeting is a chance for you to get to know your agent to get to know you, and for you guys to figure out what you guys need to do to get you a home. That's going to help set you up for success. It's going to help you know what to expect. It's going to help your agent to get to know you so they can know your needs better, and they can point you in the right directions and give you advice that works for you and that will help you get the home that you want. Because if they don't know what's important to you, how are they going to know how to help you in the best way to get you your home? It's going to educate you. It's going to make sure you guys can work with each other. It's going to tell them that you're serious about working with them and finding a home. It's beneficial to you, and it's beneficial to your agent to do this, because it's going to put you and set you up in the right direction before anything else happens. Numero 7. Number 7 is overextending your budget. If you are approved for, say, $300,000 and you see a home you love for $320,000, odds are you're not going to get that home. And I've had people ask me, hey, can we check out this home? We really like it. And they're approved for $150,000 and the home was listed for $170,000. What are we supposed to do? What do you want me to do? You want me to say, hey, no, I know you just listed this home and you have it priced perfectly and it's in good condition, and I know you have 10 other showings, but would you be willing to go $20,000 under asking? My clients can't afford it anymore. They're gonna laugh at me. They're like, no, we can't do that. I don't even know why you ask. That's a dumb question. I'm like, sorry, I know. Do not overextend your budget. If you see a home that is at $300,000 and that's your max, that's your peak, you don't have cash to go over, then do not look at that home, because odds are if it's $300,000 and it's in good condition, other people will want that home as well, and you cannot compete. All someone has to do is go up to $305,000 and they beat you. They won over you. So do not overextend your budget. Look at homes that are within your grasp that you can compete on. So if you can get pre-approved for up to $300,000, look at homes around $250,000. $250,000 or lower is probably the price range you want to look in to be able to find a home. Now, if home isn't on the market for a longer time, then you can go in there and probably compete. But if it is at your max and it's in good condition and it's brand new, odds are you won't be able to, and you're just going to be wasting your time and your realtor's time and the seller's time. So do not overextend your budget. Stay within the right margin so that you can compete. So there you go, 7 things that people do that really hurt their chance of getting a home. Now you know better. Now you know what to do. If you have any questions, let me know. Like I said at the beginning of the video, smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, because we are trying to grow this channel and I really need your help. And if you got value from this and you think someone else can, please share it with them, because they might get some value as well. YouTube thinks that you're gonna like this video up here, so please click on that video and give it a go, or wait till the end screen and check out that video instead, because I got some poppin' music playing and I know you'll love it.